So, people like to suffer. Well, I feel like isn't the right word, but people choose to suffer. People romanticize it. They create a whole story in their head, a whole movie about how they're this character who's depressed, who's had a hard upbringing, and has gone through so much struggle. And they paint this idea of themselves in their mind. And I'm not above this. I was there doing the same kind of thing. This whole mental gymnastics of, yes, you're depressed, but you deserve to be. You had such a hard time, you know? And it doesn't have to be that way. But because you constantly romanticize it in your mind and build this story about how you're this kind of person, it it becomes true. When you're a child, you're pure, untouched, in this pure state of joy, love, peace. And throughout your life, you have certain events, certain experiences, which start to build this character, this shell around your pure being. And it creates all kinds of suffering, creates all kinds of illusions. Because it really is an illusion. At your core, you're still just a child. You're still just love, peace, joy. And due to all these experiences that you continue to romanticize, it creates a belief system in you. I am this. I am that. That is what I am. And you must understand that the idea I am depressed is no different to the idea I am not. The only difference is that one, you have been choosing to feed energy into. Two opposing ideas. None of them is inherently true. None of them is inherently more important than the other. The only problem, the only difference here is that this idea you have been feeding energy into, which is simply a habit due to something you've been taught throughout your life. And simply bringing awareness to this fact, I think it was one of the fucking psychologists, Carl Jung, or maybe it was that incest cunt, fucking Freud. Pretty sure it was Carl Jung. He said, until you make the subconscious conscious, it will dictate your life and you'll call it fate. Or he said some shit like that. I don't know. It was a pretty smart guy. I do fuck with Jung. But that's exactly what it is. You have these subconscious ideas in your mind, and they're dictating your life. You have this idea of, oh, I had a hard upbringing. Oh, I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. Like, you have all of these ideas in your mind, and maybe they are rooted in some kind of truth in the beginning. But right now, you're just here. You're just you. You just are. Anything after that, anything you add on to the end of that, is just an idea. It's just a concept in your mind. And the only reason you feed into the idea of your suffering, of I am this, is because it's familiar, because it's habitual. Although you suffer, you feel safe. You don't have to journey into the unknown, because at least in the safe place of suffering, you know. You know who I am. I am this kind of person. If you have to let go of this identity of I am a depressed person, if you have to let go of all these negative ideas, then what? Then what am I going to be? I'm nothing. Who am I? I'm nobody. That is far scarier than the idea of I am a depressed person. At least there I know who I am. At least I'm this person. At least I have an identity, a community. I can relate to others in a similar boat. You feel safe. And I know to not know who you are, it hurts. It really does. But when you let go of this identity, when you return to the childlike state, there's no words. It is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's your own being, it's who you are. But it comes with a responsibility, because nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody can tell you you're not a depressed person. This is what you are. That's something that you have to find for yourself, which I know is a shitty answer. It's kind of like fuck off, but it's the truth, and it's what all religions, all intelligent people, wise people point to. It is the Greek philosophers. Know thyself. That is what it comes down to. You are not a depressed person. You're not a person who struggles, who've had a hard childhood. You just are who you are. And that's something that you have to find out for yourself.